Good afternoon, we're back. We'll continue on with the knobstick I was making. As you can see, I've got it shaped out. It'll work like that. I've got to keep bulk to it, so I can take too much off it, but it does fit to the hand. It's not something that's going to do a lot of walking with, as I said before. It's something that it does fit to the hand now. So you'll need to excuse me. I was away there the other week there and got my flu jab. Oh dear, dear, dear. I don't know. Well, I don't know what to give you, but you don't do well on it. It's supposed to stop you getting the flu, but I've not been feeling great since I got it. But anyway, I decided that I was at that age where I can get the pneumonia jag too. So she said, "Do you want the pneumonia jag? How you at?" I said, "Oh, well, fair enough, just pop it in there." I says, "And that'll be that." Like, oh. I says, "Are there any side effects?" She says, "Oh no." She says, "You maybe got a sore arm?" She says, "A sore arm?" Dear God, that was an understatement. Oh, you thought you were getting woke up in the middle of the night. Oh dear, dear. Anyway, we're back to the groove again, so that's it. Try and avoid doctors and these things, but oh well. Anyway, we're going to bore it for to put the lead weight in. I've got a small slug of lead here, which weighs just under 3 ounces, which will do. That's enough weight to carry in it. By the time I put it in, it'll be fine at that. It's a bit of lead pipe an old bit of lead pipe. It came out of Edinburgh, and the walls in it are about 5mm thick. It's actually quite amazing how heavy it is. But it'll do fine. Anyway, we'll bore the hole in it, keeping it centre on the handle. An inch flat bit should give it enough space to do it. Yes, that'll do fine. Right. I mean, obviously I'm going to bore on the angle. I'm going to have to start it off on the angle and then move it up into the vertical. Move it up into the vertical. And I'll show you how to do this. If it works, that is. Who else have done it? But another trial one on it. Anyway, same again, first slow speed, start away. The flat bit's not a perfect thing for the job, but it's more controllable than the other bits I've got there. So just start there like that and then work it in. Just give it a little turn as you do it. And then as soon as you start to cut into the wood, start to bring it up to the vertical. Once you get it at that point, you can flick it onto the fast speed and gently does it. And work your way down. And the boiler shut up first. I'm taking shavings into the house away from my crying up. There's dropping sawdust and shavings everywhere. So that should just be about it. It shouldn't be far away. But I've got to I maybe need to put it a little bit deeper because I've got a hardwood plug I've made up. I can't remember the name of this stuff. It's similar they use it on worktops nowadays, and these fancy worktops for kitchens and whatnot. The sun got me a bit off-cut, and it's dense stuff. They did tell me the name of it, but that will actually fit in at the end once we get it ready as such, but it's a wee while off. And I think I'm going to need a little bit more depth yet. Yeah, we're going to need a little bit more just to take it. But be careful here when you're doing it like this with the hand so close to this. Be extremely careful what you're doing. Just take your time with it. stop it before you bring it out. Saves you making a total pig's ear of things. Anyway, that's what you're looking for. As you can see, that'll give us enough room to put the pluggy lead in and fix it in place. I'll use some of the expansive glue while I'm at it, and just screw basically a down double washer situation onto it. It'll pop in there and that'll be that. We'll just try it in for depth and see just a little bit, just maybe a little bit more, I think, just to make sure. And I'll have to get the plug in. That'll do it. That'll be enough of that. This is the shank I'm going to be fitting to it. It's a little briar. I've given it a bit of a straighten up. It'll need a little bit more. Once I can untangle that cable that comes with that Bosch heat gun, I think I'm going to email them and tell them that the gun's brilliant, but the bloody cable's a nightmare. The amount of times I've straightened it out and oh dear. As I said before, if you don't mind, the gun's great, but cable, God, I spend more time on fank on it. Anyway, that's enough on it now. And what I'll do is I'll just drop a little bit of water and glue in there and screw it in place. Half water. I'll change that for the old bit. Yeah, so that's me kind of recovering for whatever they've given me. But I suppose if I don't take the flu and certainly don't take pneumonia through there, I'll be fine. I'll be alright with that. And I'm just going to drop a little bit of glue at the bottom. Should have given that a bit of heat first. Before I thought it would be warmer if the other it comes. Just enough to hide it at the bottom. And a little bit round the edge. And drop the plug in to it. Press down, a little bit in the middle. Yeah, I should definitely give that a little bit of heat. It's milder this past couple of days, mind you, but oh, here it comes. It's a bit slow, it's like myself nowadays. It's not keen on getting a new one. As I say, this being expansive, you just want to put enough in to bind it. Not too much. You can all be cut away, mind you, the excess, but it saves at the end of the day. Too much if you don't put too much in. Slow speed. Just wind it down. That's fine at that. Solid. That's solid at that. Leave it wipe a wee bit over. We'll let that swell up before we put the plug in. See, it'll be enough to, yeah, it's enough just to add that little bit of weight to the centre. So therefore, if you are moving it, that you're going to get a little bit of momentum on it. The reason I went for the briar, the reason I went for the briar is because it's a lot of give in it, a bit more give than some of the other woods. So I know find it once it's all tied together, the actual shank itself won't break. It'll bend, it'll fibrous, but it won't actually snap. You don't want that. Anyway, we'll come back to the next one. I'm going to put this whole thing together, as I say. It's just roughed out now. Once I get the plug sorted and put in, and then it'll give it all a final shape off. But it's more cane-ish than anything else, but it's worked fine. It's worked fine. I've got something else I'll show you, but we're running out of time, so we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.